weeks off. 2 weeks? 2 weeks. So I was sick, and it was the flu. So I put my health first. This was my first time ever having flu in America. You know what? Not my most pleasant American experience. But let me share with you what I've learned about what it's like to be sick while living in a car. It's Saturday, January 26th, and it's a good day to be alive. Where to begin? Oh, it sucks. Oh, it sucks bad. Oh, so where I was staying, I had no service. Well, I had little service. So I just decided to put my phone on like flight mode. Hence, no one heard from me. Because like introvert time is like amplified when sick, you know? This flu was stupid. The worst kind of flu. I mean, no flu is good flu, but this flu was just stupid, gross. Also, the flu is only supposed to last 7 days. Not this flu. No. This is like the overachiever kind of flu. 14 days. Bam. Under. Done. Of course. Duh. With the luck I've been having, I'm surprised like a piano hasn't fallen on my car. So last time I was under the weather, I spent a few days rereading a good book. Now, I don't know if you remember that, but that was just like the common cold. This was the flu. This changes everything. So I'm going to tell you the symptoms I had, and then I'm going to tell you how I dealt with the symptoms I had while living in a car. I think there's some benefit in sharing my experience. Symptoms I had: pain in the muscles. I had pain everywhere. And this was legitimately the first time I ever felt like my car was just too small. Like, people constantly ask me, how do you sleep sustainably and comfortably while living in a compact car being 6'2"? And I'm like, I just do, okay? But this time, I truly felt like I could have benefited from a bigger vehicle. I now understand why so many vehicle dwellers opt to get like an Airbnb or a hotel for a few days, because they don't want to deal with living in their car or their van or whatever during this time. Next symptom was coughing. It was relentless. Oh my goodness. In fact, where I was parked, the van lifer next to me the next morning asked me if I was like hotboxing my car because I was coughing so much. I didn't know what hotboxing is. If you don't know, don't Google it. Do not. But like, it truly was relentless. And at least that van lifer, she's a solo female van lifer. That's too many words. I need coffee. Hold on. Anyway, so I at least made a friend through all of this, and she's been a van lifer for about 3 years now, so she shared some really good practical insight with me. So I made a friend, and I'm gonna share that insight with you. Next symptom. Fatigue. Now, the best way to describe the fatigue I had is, do you know that moment as you're about to sneeze and you can't like consciously think of anything? That is what I had like the entire time. Like, my brain just felt foggy. And that's another reason I didn't want to drive anywhere, because it took me so long to respond to like any form of stimulation. I remember I got like a text or something, and I legitimately thought to myself, what is that sound? Like, I had no idea I was that far gone. This wasn't a fun symptom to have. Shortness of breath. This was surprisingly the most frustrating symptom of all of them, because you're living in a car with shortness of breath, you're stationary, windows rolled down, but still not getting enough air. I felt claustrophobic, so I put on my headphones and just went to stand on the beach and stare at the waves. That helped. But I still felt terrible. Like, you need to keep your car ventilated at all times, because you don't want whatever you have to like seep into the very fabric of your vehicle. Like, you know, the car that you live in, and like infested with ewiness. Yuck. Ventilate your car. Pro tip, do whatever you can to stay ventilated. Next symptom was a headache. You know when you have a headache and it pulses? That was constant. It was as if my head became a chamber for a rave club. So if you are sick, if you do have a headache, be sure to park your car where you don't have to deal with loud noises, because it will get to you. I remember I moved from like one beach to a completely different beach, like over a mile or two away, just because there were screaming kids. If you have screaming kids, stop taking them outside. And stop taking them to the grocery store. Kidding, it's a joke. Sore throat. Now this is another reason I didn't vlog or record any videos during this time, because no, tea. Lots of tea. Now if you're like me and you don't have a way to make your own hot water, as I rely on gas stations for hot water, but I didn't want to keep leaving my car just to fill up hot water, so I filled this one up with like boiling water, and it made for a lot of tea. 64 ounces of tea. Head congestion. Oh, you know how your head just feels stuffy, as if someone were to poke a hole in it, it would just pour out, but not like easy pour out, like lava lamp consistency pour out. That was almost constant. So I watched Netflix on my phone, nothing like thought-provoking. I think I watched like How I Met Your Mother.
A legend, wait for it, and I hope you're not lactose intolerant, because the second half of that word is dairy.
And I never knew this, so fun fact, check your data plan, because I ran out of cellular data during this time, but your cellular plan, if it's anything like mine, may have two separate lines of data under the same contract, meaning you can have cellular data and then you can have hotspot data. I can use up to 16 gigabytes via hotspot. So when I ran out of cellular data, I just used my phone as a hotspot and continued watching Netflix from my laptop. Didn't know that. It worked out really well. Dehydrated. I constantly felt dehydrated, so I was constantly drinking water. But if you constantly drinking water, you're going to need to use the restroom more. But because you live in a car, you don't have a restroom, so you need to ensure that you park somewhere close to a restroom. Otherwise, I mean, you could use adult diapers. But no, thank you. Thankfully, I parked at a beach where there is this public single occupancy restroom. Yes, so I parked really close. It took me less than 20 seconds to make it to the restroom. Now, if I had any, let's say, bad digestive issues or like food poisoning or something, I would, without a doubt, get a hotel or Airbnb. I have to deal with something as crazy and severe as that, like food poisoning, without the option of being able to live on the toilet? No. I would get a hotel. Definitely. I would definitely get a hotel. I mean, we've all been there. It's called Taco Tuesday. Sweating. Yo, this was annoying, because I am someone who needs to feel clean. Like, I need to feel clean. And hence I shower every single day. Well, with the exception of when I go like camping or like hiking for a few days, I use baby wipes. But I always need to feel clean. Now, I didn't shower every single day, and I kept sweating during the flu, and it was just super frustrating. And I didn't want to go to Planet Fitness because I told you I didn't want to leave the car because I just felt terrible. And besides, the closest Planet Fitness as to where I was staying was like 20 minutes away. Okay, so when I did go to Planet Fitness to shower, the van lifer that I told you about earlier in this video told me that whenever she's sick, she goes to Planet Fitness to either use the single isolated shower or the handicap shower, specifically because you can like sit in them and like you can drain all the congestion away. That was such a good tip because it really made me feel a lot better, especially since the one I went to had like one of those single occupancy essentially, and I could shower there, and it felt great. And that's a good tip. That was really a great tip. And after that, it was the first time I felt like actually eating something. On that note, the next symptom I want to talk about is the fact that I experienced a loss of appetite. Now, if you remember that last time I went to Panera Bread and ordered takeout, that's still an option. But if you want to save a few bucks, do what I did and just go to the dollar store. You can get almost all of your comfort food for $1. So here's a tip. Go to the dollar store for like one day. When you feel like the onset, like before it like really hits you, the flu I mean, go to like the dollar store and like stock up on everything that you think you may need, and then activate hermit mode for the rest of your dormancy period, and you already have access to a consistent, stable food supply during your entire time of being sick. But let's say you want something warm, something that's gonna give you the homey feeling in your belly. Don't worry, I have tips for that too. Now, full disclosure, I am a stress eater, absolutely, and food is comforting. And that's because when you feel full, you start breathing from your stomach again and you feel relaxed. Now, I'm not saying go and overeat. I'm just saying that sometimes it does help. But this wasn't the case for me, as I didn't have an appetite. I wanted to eat nothing at all. As I had no appetite, coupled with a sore throat, I wanted to eat nothing. So I didn't. Now, when I mentioned this to the van lifer, the same van lifer that gave me the tip about the shower at Planet Fitness, she said that some vehicle dwellers strategically utilize buffets, cost-effective buffets, in order to A, stay on budget, B, splurge on food, and C, having the option of eating a bunch of food and trying different types of food without having to deal with all the food prep and clean up afterwards. You can go to a place called Cece's Pizza. Now, pizza happens to be my favorite food. Just a quick break from the edit. Did you see that cheese on that pizza? Yeah! Anyway, I just want to let you know who today's fill-up friend is. Now, pizza happens to be my favorite food, and for like $5, you can have unlimited pizza. Yeah, that's a thing in America. Unlimited pizza. And I'm not talking about pre-made pizzas. I'm talking about unlimited amounts of personal pan pizzas made to order. I mean, since it is a buffet, they do have pre-made options. Ungodly amounts of options. Like more than any one person could ever consume. But hey, our reach must always exceed our grasp. Otherwise, what's the point of having ambition? As aforementioned, I didn't have an appetite. But just like sailors stranded at sea who eventually turn to drink seawater, being surrounded by food, you will eventually eat it. Stupid donuts. Wait, what? So I sat in the buffet for a while, and eventually I started to eat pizza. Personal pan pizzas. Well, actually, I started eating a lot of fruits. Yes, they have that too. Now, an hour or so later, I ordered my first pizza. I ordered a cheese pizza, and then I ordered an Hawaiian pizza. Yeah, I'm someone who likes pineapple on pizza. And then I ordered my very own arugula steak salad pizza. It's my design. In short, if I'm going to go to a buffet, I'm going to get my money's worth. Every last penny. Yeah, I was there for pretty much all day. They had power outlets, so I could watch all 3 of the only Star Wars episodes that I acknowledge. I made friends with the staff of the buffet. We exchanged stories, and some of them even subscribed. Overall, being sick with the flu while living in your car is not the most pleasant experience, but the great benefit of having this experience is the friends I made, the laughs we shared, the insight that I gained. That was awesome. And I learned some things that I can share with you, my audience, that will perhaps allow you to better navigate the road ahead. Now, would there be things that I would do differently? Absolutely. Namely, I would either get a hotel or an Airbnb for a few days. Or, if not, then I would buy several of those big water gallon jugs and use the empties for a pee bottle. I will ensure that I have a full gas tank during this time, just in case I need to run my car to stay warm or blow my AC to cool me down. I would have a flu prep bag, just like a first aid kit for the things that you will need to make it easier. Things for sore throat, nasal spray, whatever. I would have a comfort beverage like tea or a hot toddy. I would do my laundry immediately after the flu ends. Get clean and clean my vehicle too. Deep clean it. Now, while I was sick, I grew a more profound joy for the positives in my life. Like I knew that this too shall pass. Now I knew that I would not be waking up with a headache every day, and I knew that the flu would pass in a few days. Are there some disadvantages to living in a vehicle? Absolutely. This is one of them. But sometimes you need to work with the negatives to paint a better picture. Now, I was under the weather. Where I was living, it was cold and dark and gloomy and groggy and gross. But then the clouds passed and I could see clear blue skies. And I knew that it was going to be a bright and shiny day. Go and make this day bright and shiny.